descend and maintain 2074.
Who am I?
I'm at 504, descend and maintain 3000. 3000, coming 504.
And for Captain 724 is our crafting about our...
In my 20s, I dream of flying a plane. Due to having glasses, I thought it's not possible. In mid-2016, I started to have foggy vision. After I checked out, the doctor said I have cataract in both my eyes. Wow! I really never expected this. I felt like taking a trip to the moon, jumping up and down. I'm filled with excitement. But the unexpected turns out into my reality. The cold, hard truth. I need to step into divorce. My mom said her final goodbye, and my family broke apart. I stepped into a solitude journey. This is the best journey I ever experienced. It was super challenging. My achievement, the award-winning author, from housewife to pilot, the beginning. I'm Keiko. I'm here holding your hands, guiding you every steps to discover your potential, harness that energy, bring it to your reality, and make your dreams come true.
I'm at 504, we're at speed of 170 for tower space. You get following a Boeing 727, 1 o'clock, 6 miles right base, sending out 3500.
Welcome to Tuesday with Keiko. Today, my guest speaker is Pete Jones. Pete Jones is a happily married father of 3, stepfather of another 3, and grandparent to 6 beautiful grandchildren. His life has been blessed as he has experienced many difficulties he had to learn and grow through, and he now shares what he has learned from many other mentors and teachers in order to empower others to recreate a personal identity and a more attractive reality. Some of his greatest lessons have come through experimentation with living. Some of the resources he has learned on a great deal and used during his life experimentation process have been Tom and Lisa Bu, and there are many guests on their podcast: Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Lewis Howes, and his many guests on his podcast, the work of Abraham Hicks, and many personal development books as he has gotten his hands on. He realized he has only scratched the surface of the personal development world so far, and has created a website called goodinthehead.com and has a podcast on YouTube called the Good in the Head Podcast 2482. It is through these platforms as well as on Instagram and Facebook as @goodinthehead that he shares everything that he has learned that has worked so well for him in the recreation of a personal identity and a personal reality that is limitless and progressively expansive in every way. He believes that each of us are here for a purpose, and it is up to us to figure out what this purpose is. He used to try to help people, but quickly realized that as individuals, it is entirely up to us to help ourselves. Nobody is coming to save us, and nobody can do our push-ups for us. We are 100% responsible for the lives we create for ourselves. Pete now endeavors to empower others to help themselves by sharing everything he has learned that has worked well for him, in hopes that those who are seeking may find, and that those who are trying will gain momentum through what he shares. Welcome, Pete Jones.
Hi, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on your show and speak with you today.
You're welcome. And I'm grateful that you're able to make time for this space that we are sharing our knowledge to the audience. And Big John, share with the audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm from Arizona in the United States. Uh, Raised in a really great family, mother, father, three sisters. Um, had a really uh, a nice life growing up, way out in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. My dad worked for the energy system here, and so we lived at dams that were very remote and usually didn't have very many kids in our school, like maybe 4 or 5 or 6 kids. And so socially, when we were introduced into society and big schools with hundreds and thousands of kids, it was a little bit of a culture shock for sure. But I was raised in the Mormon church, in Christianity ideology. I even went on a Mormon mission when I was 18 years old. I left and went and lived in Greece for 2 years. I did a year and a half in Athens and 6 months in Thessaloniki, which I really loved. And within 2 years of coming back off of my mission, I was married. We had our first child, and we moved up to Utah and quit going to church. And then real life began, and a whole series of events led to me soon becoming very depressed and despondent. I was put on some medications for severe depression, and later was told that I had bipolar, which I knew nothing about. And for 15 years after that, I was on um, pharmaceuticals and antidepressants. I was taking lithium, tried Depakote, Depakine, and over 20 different antidepressants. And in 15 years, none of that actually worked. It did the opposite. It made me feel very useless to society, to my family, hopeless. I became very suicidal. And uh, during my third marriage, I was asked by my wife at that time, hey, have these medications ever helped you in the last 15 years? I had never even thought of that or considered it. And the answer was no, absolutely not. And
Mm.
so at that time, I had checked myself into a mental hospital to get some help. And I stopped taking those medications. And I remember going to the doctor that was prescribing them and told him that was my plan and that I wanted to try life without those medications. And he screamed and yelled and swore at me and kicked me out of his office and said, "You're just going to kill yourself or someone else. And if you're not going to let me help you, then get the hell out of my office." And I was very surprised by that. But within a month or two of getting off those medications, I got
I
my
guess
life
that
back.
was tougher. Yeah.
I got my life back and started a whole new life and creating a whole new reality, and got addicted to the personal development world,
Mm.
and it kind of expanded and grew from there. It was interesting. And that was in 2014 when this all transpired and I got off those medications. And since
Yeah,
then, I have not been depressed or suicidal at all.
that's really amazing. And I guess personal empowerment is a natural medication for every one of us.
Natural medications certainly have their use in life for sure.
Mm. And
And
it
some
really
people
helps
really
us
do
to,
need those medications. I'm not saying they're bad or evil.
yeah,
I'm just saying they weren't for me.
yeah, yeah. Of course, it's like someone they really need to take the medication to adjust their whatever, yeah, all those chemical terms which I won't be able to label. But yeah, it's so true that medication can just, it's like when we have pain, if we don't take painkiller, the pain will be there for a certain amount of time, which depending on how bearable it is for us. And of course, yeah, certain medication. It's just like, when my parents both are diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and you can imagine if without taking the medication, the progress might be faster.
Yeah, that's true. In some cases, everybody's so different chemically,
Mm,
hormonally, day to day. I mean, everyone is so different. One thing that may work for someone may not work
yes.
for millions of others. So we've all just got to sort of
Oh yeah,
experiment
that's
with
your dog.
everything and just keep what works for us.
That's your dog. What is the name of your dog?
Daisy,
Oh,
sweet,
yeah. How old is your dog now?
8 or 9 years old. Yeah, we got
Oh,
her as a rescue dog.
I see. Yeah, it's nice to have an animal in the house.
Yeah, it's nice having her.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they are quite fun. And the next question to you is, how do you cope with your life transformation journey? Please share with our audience, as we knew each other since I joined Impact Theory late. That was, I think, somewhere 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, with enjoyment and pleasure. I lived a life of suffering for so long, for about the first 40 years,
Mm,
that once I was able to let go of that suffering and the ideology behind it all, and start thinking differently and having different perspectives and listening to people that were, in my eyes, successful and happy,
yeah,
I started having different results in life and started enjoying it and being more positive. One major um, proponent for my own personal happiness came from a movie my dad gave me called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And I played that movie every single day, first thing
mm,
in the morning while I was getting ready, just to hear it in the background, repeating over and over. And practices like gratitude
mm.
came into the forefront of my mind, and I started using that as a tool. And there are so many tools that we can explore and try out to sort of up
That's right.
level and enjoy life more.
That's so true. And yes, I watched that Secret, the movie The Secret too.
Yeah, John Assaraf
And
was on there. I remember that.
yes, yeah,
And
it is. And John Ashraf is someone that is amazing also. And he's about the, how to reconnect your brain power and to stay in a positive perspective rather than the negative perspective.
yeah, yeah. And when he was on Tom Bilyeu's show, Impact Theory, it reminded me of uh, The Secret. And one of the
Mm,
stories he shared on that movie was how he had written down in detail every single thing that he wanted to
mm,
experience in his life. And he had kind of put it in a box because they were moving and forgot about it. And 5 years later, his son was, he had come into the room. I think his son was like 5 years old at the time and sat on the box and was kicking it. And he's like, what's in this box? He's curious. And so he opened it up, and there was that list of every detail of everything he wanted, including the exact house they were living in. Everything had
mm.
happened. It had transpired according to what he wrote down in detail on this paper. And so in 2014, when I got off those medications and started my life over, that's one of the first things I did. I wrote a list on this paper of
Mm-hmm,
everything that I wanted. I wanted eventually to have a healthy relationship with good
mm,
communication and boundaries, which I had never really cultivated with anyone before. I wanted a job and I wrote the word Boeing. You know, I want a job at Boeing. I wrote, I want a house to live in. I wrote all these things down, and I read it, every day in the morning when I was getting ready and eating breakfast for about a month. And then I had moved and forgotten about that piece of paper, and it ended up in a desk years later.
mm. Yeah.
And my wife, 3 years later, was packing up the drawers of the office and opened the drawer and saw it and looked at it. She said, "Is this your gratitude list for today?" And I was like, "What? No, I don't. I didn't write a gratitude list today." And I looked at it, and it was that piece of paper. And I was working at Boeing. We were moving into our first home together that we bought, and all of these things. And I
Wow.
was like, oh my God, it works.
It
What
really
else
works,
can
huh?
I make a list of? What else can I create?
Yeah.
It was really exciting.
Yeah. So I should start doing that list now.
I would recommend to everybody know exactly what you do want in your life. And
Yeah,
the
I think
subconscious mind will go to work on making it happen. And the universe will coincide with all of that. And before long, because it's stuck in the subconscious mind, like this is what I do
mm,
want, pretty soon the five senses will only allow into the mind all that which is in alignment with what you want, because that's what the subconscious mind is working on while you're living life. It's really
oh,
interesting.
that's amazing. And you still remember how many lists you have in that paper?
I just wrote the full page. I
A
think that I
full
have it in a
page.
box somewhere, but now I'm working on a different list. I haven't written it down and probably ought to, because hey, if it
Mm.
works, why not? I'll try it out.
Yeah, yes, that's right. And because it's like a vision board, is so common that people mention making a vision board. And for me, so far I never make a vision board before,
Mhm.
and also I never tried putting down in the list and put on a piece of paper. So I guess I should start that and
Well,
see what happens.
the beautiful thing about that practice, a vision board or a list of what you want to
Mm,
transpire in your life, is that when you focus on one thing, all of your energy goes into that one thing and
yeah.
perpetuates and recreates and expands it. And everything else that is no longer feeding off of your energy sort of dissipates and disappears out of your life. All the drama, all the BS, everything that everyone wants you to spend your energy on for them
Mm,
is now focused on this one thing that you want for you. And a lot of people, oh, well, that's selfish. Well, it's okay to be selfish. Like if
yes.
if your energy is leaking out into everything everyone else wants, and you're not lighting up and re-energizing through what you want, then you're pretty much eventually of no use to anybody, including yourself, because your
Yeah, that's so
energy is
true.
spread thin everywhere.
Yes, that is so true. I mean, it's like we are creator in nature. So we are here to create something in one way or the other, because when you look at the world now, everything that we have is as an idea in another person's mind.
Sure. I mean, look at the airplane. I mean, I work
Mm,
on the Apache helicopter at Boeing, but Boeing is making these airplanes, which started a century or so ago, and
mm,
they didn't exist. It was an idea in someone's mind. These Wright brothers were going off of cliffs to see if they could make
yes,
things fly, and look at where
that's
we're
right.
at now. It's so amazing. It was an idea.
Yes. Oh, I think you have to repeat the sentence because your image froze.
Oh yeah, we froze. So the
Yeah.
idea exists, and then people sort of like missionaries will go out and door knock and say, "Hey, subscribe to this idea, isn't it great?" And then it expands with the energy of so many people and becomes a reality, and that's kind of
Yeah.
exciting.
Yes, that is so powerful. And yeah, I can imagine. I think we can imagine in the past, if we go back in time, how many people have the thought of creating the plane. Not many comes into success.
Look at
Yeah.
Amazon. I mean, that was an idea that started in a garage, and
Mm.
now look, wow. So
And
many brilliant ideas become massive and get created through the
it
energy and
is,
support of
yes.
others.
Yeah, and also Apple, he also created from the garage.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, yeah, also started from the garage, if I remember correctly.
Yep, yep. Some of the best things just start out small and then gain traction and build momentum, because people
Yes.
align with it and they enjoy it, they like it, they want to support it. Just like your
Yeah.
podcast, I'm sure you're getting more and more listeners and followers and viewers, like Tom Bill Yu's podcasts.
Oh, he is really amazing.
Yeah, he is. I
Yeah,
really appreciate what he's done for me and for the whole
it
world through
is.
what he shares.
Yes. And also, Impact Theory University that he created, yeah, it helps so many people to really narrow down what they wants to create. Because when we have the idea of what I want to create, basically, there are so many thoughts will come in and interferes with that one idea.
Mhm.
And that is why he has this 90-day challenge. He created this 90-day challenge to help us to focus on the one idea that we have, and every week they give us an idea, so we will work on that task, and to make sure that end of the week we complete the task.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time that I started that 90-day challenge, everything around me was in a mess. I just focused on one task per week. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I felt the overwhelm, and I guess the overwhelm came in because of the adjusting of our mindset, and our align with our action.
Mhm.
That is why we create that contradicting thoughts in our mind, and that creates that overwhelm sensation in our emotion.
Yeah, it makes sense. The
Yeah.
ability to hyper focus on just one thing is not a gift that we're given. It's something we have to cultivate and repeat and practice. And when we can focus on that one thing and energize only that, then everything
Mm.
else falls away. Like you're talking about, everything was a mess for that one week. I was focusing on the
Yes.
one thing, and that's
Yes.
okay. That's good. Like hyper focusing on one thing is important to do, I think, in
Yes.
the creation process.
Yeah, that is so important. How did you step into a breakthrough?
Through extreme suffering, um, as a lot of people, I guess, from what I'm learning, that's sort of the way that they begin their personal development journey. They get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and then
Mm.
realize that, like Jim Rohn says, like if you want things to change for you, you have to change.
Yes.
And I really
Agree.
took that to heart, and I was like, wow, I certainly can change, and I will, because the reality that I was experiencing for all those years caused so much suffering.
Mm.
And I realized finally years later that it was the way that I was thinking and believing about the things that had transpired in my life. And most importantly, the things I was believing about myself, how I was self identifying.
Mm.
That was what was causing the suffering. Like Shakespeare said, like, nothing is either good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. And when we define and attach meaning to something that happens, it may be one painful moment in time
Mm.
that comes and goes, but the suffering exists for as long as we choose to think about it and focus on it and define it and attach certain meanings to that one painful moment in time. If we have a practice of letting go of everything, eventually we can begin to expand out of that reality into a different reality according to any perspectives or
Mm.
beliefs that we decide to try on, almost like a winter coat. Oh, that one's too small.
Yes.
I'm going to throw that one to the side. I'm going to try this other coat on. Oh, that's just right. I'm going to try this for a while. We can do the same thing with our beliefs. Truth is subjective. We can decide what
Yes.
our truth is for us at any one moment in time. And upgrading that consistently throughout our lives is the whole point, I think. So on the Good in the
Yeah.
Head website at goodinthehead.com, if you go to the menu, you'll see an option to choose that says My Daily Perspective Shift. And I invite the viewers and the listeners to go check that out and read through it and see what it's about. It's a project that I've used every day in my life since 2017 to continuously up level my perspectives and beliefs. And that's available to anybody, and it's free.
Yeah, and I remember in 2021 that you created that 30-day challenge and you invite me to join. So I took that challenge, and from that challenge, yeah, I can see how my life shifted since 2020, beginning of 2020 until now.
Yeah, that was fun. A lot of people reached out and said that it was an interesting project to try doing those different things. Each month contained a challenge, and then the month
Yes,
after that was a different one, and it
yes.
went on and on. Like one month was, hey, focus on your physical body and
Mm,
improving and optimizing it. And one of the things was cutting out sugar for that month and only eating up to 25 grams of carbohydrates, which is nearly impossible in
mm,
today's world. But
yeah,
wow, the inflammation that
it's
I
big, huh?
realized was
Mm,
in my body that left after that month of sort
mm,
of detoxing off sugars and carbohydrates, it was worth trying out. It was painful for a few
mm.
weeks, headaches, and but after that, it was just amazing. I felt so good.
Yeah, I guess I should start trying out because, yeah, me too. I'll experience those allergy. Probably I should start trying out because since the transformation in my life, and I have been taking ice cream
Mhm.
almost every day, and yes, I know it's not
I love ice
really
cream.
healthy. Yeah, it's not really healthy because of the sugar and the milk content. And yeah, I got allergy. Like yesterday, yeah, I got the flu recently, just a few days ago, and yeah, trying to get rid of the flu, trying to heal my body. I cooked chicken soup, so I added some herbs, Italian herbs into it. I'm not sure, is it from the Italian herbs or from the soya sauce that cause allergy in my body?
Hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess it's like really, yeah, I have to adjust my diet, try to cut down sugar. Perhaps I should start, maybe start with one day, the whole day without any sugar intake and see what happens.
Yeah, the first time I did that, I remember it was in 2014. Actually, I'd gotten off all those meds, and at the
Mm,
time, I was experiencing extreme pain in my back, and I had blown out, ruptured, and herniated discs for years when I was on those medications. I was very overweight, very unhealthy, and this man stepped into my cab, and we get going. And I was driving cab at the time because they
mm,
wouldn't fire me if I missed a day or two, and I was in so much pain. I would just say, "Well, I can't come into work today," and they didn't care, like, "Well, we'll see you when we see you." And
mm,
so I would work for 12 hours and be in extreme pain and go home and rest for a couple of days until I
mm,
could walk normally again and go back to work. But this guy
mm,
comes into the cab and says, "Oh yeah, I see you're drinking soda." And I'm like, "No, actually, it's a Powerade. I quit drinking soda." And he goes, "What are you, stupid?" He was from the East Coast, and they talk like that. They're kind of abrasive. They seem to be like, "Arr,
mm.
arr," And I was like,
Yeah,
"Hey, dude, we don't even know each other." I was like, "What do you?"
yeah,
He goes, "No, but there's so much sugar in soda and in
mm,
that Gatorade and the Powerade. Sugar's the problem." And I'm like, "Oh, this is a sugar freak. Whatever. What does he know?" But then he goes, "Hey, go and research the movie Fed Up. There's a blue and a red
mm,
M&M. It says FU. It says Fed Up. And
mm,
I came across that about a month later, and I watched it, and I decided that day I'm going off sugars just to see what'll happen. And for
mm.
2 weeks, I thought I was going to die. And later I find out, it's withdrawals because I was so used to so much sugar
Yes,
that going
that's right.
cold turkey off of it was really
Mm,
hard on my body. But after that 2 weeks was over, very painful 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, man. The weight flew off of me. I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. And I was like, how? That's crazy. My hormones and chemicals of my body, I was just all this weight came off. My back felt better. I could walk normally. I could work every day. Life
mm.
was interesting after not doing so much sugar. It was cool.
I guess I shall start soon to reduce the sugar intake
Yeah. Well,
because I thought,
anybody can try it out for themselves and see if it
yeah,
works or not. It's
yeah,
pretty cool.
because for me, it's like when I step into the huge transformation journey. Yeah, I wouldn't say that is easy. That is really challenging. Because it's like one after another thing arise, and that is why I'm trying to do things that make me feel I loved doing that. Like for example, I just love to go cafe and have my breakfast.
Hmm.
I just enjoy that, and that will give me that feels of so-called that battery power to fuse me to uh, go longer in the duration. Because when I was in Impact Theory University, I signed up the course in December 12th of December 2022. It's so difficult for me to sleep straight for 8 hours. My sleeping hours is so irregular. At times I just sleep 2 hours or 3 hours, and at times I can sleep for 8 hours, and it's so irregular. But one thing good that I don't feel tired. I guess that is my body is adjusting to the environment that I'm in. Yeah, so now I think I should try removing sugar in my diet and see what happens. But we'll just take a small step at a time. Like maybe I'll try one whole day and start with one whole day, and then slowly increase and see what happens to in the end.
Yeah,
I'm
and
curious to find out.
everybody's going to have a different result with no matter what they try. But I say experiment with everything, and find out what works
Mm,
for you and lights you up, and keep doing that. If you were to write a list later of
mm,
everything that you do that you love so much that you just feel energized and amped up about, what would that list look like? And how often do you spend doing the things on that list every day or each week?
mm.
Like maybe lean into that some more so that you're lit up more and you're re-energized and re-amplify, the energy that you are inside this body, and say like, hey,
Mm.
I'm living a better life because I'm doing the things I love. Quit leaking
Yes.
your energy to everybody else and giving away your resources to what they want you to do. And try doing some things that make you happy and make you feel good. I love that idea.
Yeah. That is so important. That is just like the battery that fuel us to feel alive. And how did you gain clarity of what you love doing?
That's a good question. One thing that I discovered recently that I really wish that I would have been raised knowing about is meditation.
Mm,
Um, Meditation is sort of a unique and personal process that can change, and it doesn't have to be done any certain one way. There's no right or wrong way to meditate, but basically gaining clarity comes through alignment, and alignment comes through meditation. And
mm,
meditation, all it is being still and quieting the mind and not thinking about all the things of the day or everything we're observing all the time, or not being overwhelmed and full of anxiety anymore. It's breathing through all of that and letting it go. And my mom described meditation one time. She said, I just sit by a tree in a grassy field with a stream nearby. And every
mm,
once in a while, the tree will have a leaf that falls into the water and floats away. And I began putting my thoughts onto each leaf. I was thinking about this and that.
mm.
Each of those things would fall down with the leaf and float away. And pretty soon I was empty and I wasn't thinking about anything. And that's alignment.
Yeah,
No
that's
thought
nice.
no thought is necessary to be, and to be is to be in alignment. Looks like we're having a disconnect again. I'll hold on for a little bit here.
Yeah. Hi, I'm
Hey,
back.
you are
So
back.
I'm not sure whether is it recorded.
It says it's recording still. Yeah, we're about 41 minutes
Yeah.
in.
How did you gain clarity of what you love doing?
The one thing that helps most for me is something that I wish that I had grown up doing, but only discovered recently through a book called Stress Less, Accomplish More by Emily Fletcher. And that's meditation. In it,
Mm,
I learned there's no one right or wrong way to meditate,
yes,
but
there's no wrong or right way.
but so useful as a tool for alignment. And through alignment,
True.
I think that we gain clarity on all things. And there's a book by Napoleon Hill that was written in the 1900s, early 1900s, called Think and Grow Rich. And one of the
Mm,
chapters is all about visualization, in which he describes something that was crazy to me the first time I heard it, but is
yeah.
useful. And that is closing the eyes and imagining being in a room and then introducing into that room a table, chairs, as detailed and beautiful as you want it to be. And then throughout the entire limitless timeline of existence of everything, pick and choose people who have existed, who are now alive, or who may yet still come to life later, and put them in the chairs in this office room and have a meeting with them and ask them the pertinent and important questions um, that would further what you want to create, and then listen to their answers through their perspectives and lives and experience. And I thought that was such an amazing
Yes, it is, huh?
practice. I was like, wow, that sounds like might be nuts, but this man was a multimillionaire just by
Mm.
writing the book. And he's created more millionaires than anyone else ever has through the practices of this book, Think and Grow Rich.
It is powerful. And coming to, when you mentioned about getting those people that you put them into the seats, I'm thinking, because it's like as we come into this life, we have soul contracts with certain people.
I like that.
So did we do that? Invite the souls of those people to come into this room and take a seat, and we basically discuss on how we play our role in this life and how we kind of like collaborate or co-create our reality. I
Mm,
wonder, did our soul do that before we come into this life?
interesting. I mean, what if Genghis
Yeah.
Khan were there? What would he say? What would Jesus
Mm.
say? What would Muhammad say?
Yeah.
What would Napoleon Hill say after writing that book and watching everything unfold even after his life, observing humankind? It's interesting to take the opportunity to just imagine,
Yeah.
you know, these people
Just sitting
who have
still
existed,
and
they
yeah,
could
just
help.
sitting still and imagine
Yeah.
and how we collaborate with one another, and how we create our reality through all these people. It's like, our parents, our children, for example. And yeah, you never know what kind of reality will comes up after you have this realization.
Yeah. And it's so fun for me personally to watch every one of our children and all the
Mm,
grandbabies and the lives that they're creating for themselves, and then how these personalized creations coexist with the creations of their parents and each other as grandchildren playing. And it's just fun to observe all the learning and expansion going on within these babies and with our own children.
true. Perhaps like 10 years later or 20 years later, you see their growth is so different.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
amazing. This life
Yes,
is a gift, and it is so amazing.
it
All
is.
of it is. All the things that we perceive of as bad or hard or difficult or evil or good or blissful or causing joy. It's all just it's a beautiful
So
experience.
yes, it's just a mix of every ingredient in this meal that we prepare, or in this live show that we create. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are here and we do create. So I guess that makes
Yes.
us creators if we want to identify as such on a any level that we want to, you know. And
Yeah.
there's a in my view from what I've experienced, there's three ways we can create. There's observation of what already is, in
Mm,
which we energize what is and recreate that. Or through visualization, we can close our senses off to the physical world surrounding us
mm,
and then visualize something else which has already been created. All of it already exists, and then begin to vibrate on the frequency of what that is
mm,
until it's attracted into and drawn into our personal reality. And we can create through visualization and through an up leveling or altering of a vibrational frequency through thinking alone, which is amazing. And then through alignment,
true.
which comes through meditation, that's the third way. We simply are that thing and we receive what we
Mm.
are. We don't get what we want. We get what we are.
Yeah,
And
it's just from a thought, huh?
what's that?
It's just from our thought, from one thought.
Crazy, huh? Each
Yeah,
thought carries with it a vibration and it goes
it
out
is.
and it begins to attract similar circumstances, people, situations
Yes.
that are in accordance with the frequency of that thought, you know.
Yeah.
Everything's frequency and vibration, you know. It's just that we can't see it with these eyes or hear it with these ears except for the music, you
Yes.
know. It's very limiting, like you said, right?
Yes. Exactly. I mean, it's like when you come to think of it, like for me, I personally, I live in Singapore, and I've been, living a life in the Netherlands. Before that, before I live my life in the Netherlands, I never imagined that I will be in Netherlands. I have the thought
Ah,
of I love to be in Europe because Europe is so beautiful, but I love to live in America. But I never, having that thought that I love living in the Netherlands. I never have that thought, but I have no idea where this reality comes from.
hmm. You know, it used to be a strange idea to me, but what if we were to introduce the idea that this life is just like a video game, like a virtual reality, in which
Matrix,
we can
like the
literally
movie Matrix.
learn how to do anything. You can fly a plane, you know,
Yeah.
that's a skill. I mean, we can't just put a chip in just yet and then download the information instantaneously and know how to do it. Or can we? I don't
Hmm.
know.
Yeah,
But
perhaps in future it might be possible. It's just like when I first attended this TED events in Den Haag, one of the city, and they put up a video about Jeff Bezos. As we, I guess, when I mentioned Jeff Bezos, perhaps many of the people they might not know is he's the creator of Amazon. And if you mention Prime or Amazon, yeah, people would know that. And it is really interesting. He has this dream of creating a living space in the solar system, which for me, I personally think that is so amazing if this dream of his is able to come true.
mhm.
And yeah, I mean, it's like I would interested in collaborating into his real being in his reality, and collaborate with him to create this dream to come true. I'll be interested in that, because it's like
Yeah.
to create a living space in the solar system, we all know is challenging. The amount of air in the atmosphere, and the amount of water, how to produce the water for
Mhm.
us to be able to drink, for us to be able to shower, and because it's like living in space. We can't just open the door and saying that, oh, today we want to go to the beach. And we open the door and we go, oh, no, it's not that. You can't do things that way. It's a different way of doing things. But it will be interesting if, let's say, his dream come true in this lifetime. That would be very amazing.
Yeah. You know, a thought energy, if it's thunk enough, becomes a thought form. And I really believe that. I mean, we can have, do, or be anything. And all that exists between the thought of that and the experiencing of that is our belief and our hyper focus on that, and then the energy it'll take to make it happen. Because while some people think something and it manifests in their life quite quickly,
Yeah.
others take years.
Yes.
And maybe that has to do with alignment that comes through meditation. Maybe,
yes.
you know, I know very little about all of that, but I really do believe
Yeah,
that
me
what we
too.
think about manifests.
Me too. I know very little about that. And when I started meditation, but I do see the difference when I stepped into meditation. That was in 2016, where I was diagnosed with cataract. Because I knew at that time there will come to a time that I won't be able to see what's coming ahead of me because of the protein, that the crumbs of the protein, which creates that how should I put it, it's like it blocks the direct light into our lens. And so that is where the cloudiness comes in. And when it's our eyes having the cloudiness, you won't be able to see things, because when you look at the light, there will be a starburst effect, and you won't be able to see who's walking towards you or a bicycle coming towards you. I won't be able to see that at that period of time where when I was close to be able to operate. So I knew that that will happen. That is why in 2016 I started doing meditation to basically ground my energy. And because it's like in that period where during my cataract, when I was out alone in the night, I was able to hear voices, but I couldn't see them.
Wow.
That can be very scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah. And I'm glad that I started meditation. And to be honest, I mean, there's no right way or wrong way of doing meditation. Because for me, I personally love meditation in the middle of the night. And during middle of the night, I guess because of that stillness, and everything is everybody is asleep, and everything is quiet. It's quiet outside. So that and also the energy is different from the day, because during the day is so busy, and once you have things going on, your focus will be shifted. And night, I guess the focus will be much more powerful. And I remember in the beginning of my meditation, I imagined myself sitting inside the pyramid, and where the energy just focus on the tip of the pyramid coming down through my body. And basically the energy from the cosmos, and the energy from the center of the earth, sort of like a bridge where I'm the link to so-called the heaven and earth. And just do that. Just sit there quietly. Either I listen to a guided meditation, or I just sit there in stillness. And that is how I do my meditation.
That is That sounds like an incredible meditation. That, I mean, I can't imagine that you would do that on a regular basis and not gain clarity to a lot of aspects in your life. You know, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and basically it's like for me, why I did that is just to ground my energy, so that I will not get scared. Like when, yeah, during that stage where, the cataract increase and I won't be able to see what's coming ahead of me. Yeah, it can be scary.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, there's a podcaster. She's pretty incredible individual. She goes by the name of Blue, and I know she was on Aubrey Marcus's podcast a few times, but then eventually she made one of her own.
Mm,
And Blue is hard of hearing, and some sort of a genetic anomaly caused it to where
mm,
her hearing was slowly diminishing over time. And at first, it freaked her out, caused her some anxiety, and then she reframed it. She chose to reframe
mm,
it and started asking herself different questions and thinking about going deaf differently. And she thought,
mm.
what won't I hear and be distracted by anymore if my hearing goes?
Yeah,
And
that is so powerful.
it became a blessing for her, almost like,
Mm,
oh, she just redirected her energy into a
yes.
positive aspect of this happening. And I thought that
Yeah.
was really cool because at any one moment in time, any of us can do that with anything that's going on.
Yeah.
And we can create a better feeling within us and a better energy by remaining positive and
Mm,
climbing the ladder of consciousness rather
yes.
than going downward and declining into negativity.
Mm,
And neither one is good nor bad, right? But
yeah.
thinking makes it so. But why not feel better? You
Well, I
know,
think I will choose to climb the ladder of the consciousness. I'll really be interested to find out what's out there in the space or in the consciousness. What are the things that we can tap into? Like, for example, I came across this. Who is that coach?
I don't know.
Uh, I think he's I'm Versa. He's also one of the coach, and he used to live in England. He's from Hong Kong, and
Go directly to research that. That's okay to leave it in. I find it interesting. It might help someone.
let me look up because I did follow him for a period of time.
How do you spell it?
Uh, wait, I look up. Oh, he changed his name to Master Sri Akashana.
Mr. Shri. Oh yeah, okay. He
Yeah.
shows up on.
Yes.
I'll subscribe to him on YouTube. Master
Yeah.
Sri Akarshana. Okay.
Yes. I love his topic. And I did join his event and verse for that time I joined. I think I joined that event is I don't know, 5 days meditation, something like that. Yeah, he's amazing, and he is someone that he stepped into meditation, and he, yeah, I would say he go into a deeper level
Mhm.
where he manifests, how many audience following him.
Hmm.
He manifests all that. And in his event he mentioned, yeah, manifestation is really I remember, when I signed up for his event, I think something like a 5 day meditation, something like that. It's amazing. When the first day I attended that event, about 1,000 people show up around the world in his event. And to be honest, I mean, as a manifestor, if he put that energy out and 1,000 people show up in his event, and attend his event, I think that is really very powerful.
Definitely.
Yeah, and can see that his manifestation level is really very high.
Yeah, that's a real thing. They talk about that in a book called Reality Transurfing, written by
Mm,
a Russian man. It was recently translated into English, and it's called a pendulum, where the
mm,
group all comes together to form this powerful, energetic force, you know.
mm,
And let's say the government, like the government forms, and there's so many people that are thinking about government things that their energy is leaked from what they want to focus on and their life they're living and into this entity or pendulum called the government.
mm.
Whether we love the government, we hate the government, if we talk about it, think about it, the government is receiving energy from us as an individual. And if
Yeah.
it can sort of capture the minds of the world, we have now millions or billions of people
Mm,
leaking their energy out into that one pendulum. And there are many different groups and pendulums, whatever, but it's fascinating to me, you know, where we put our focus is where we're putting our energy. And
yeah.
so if we want to create the most beautiful life possible, and then all we do is talk about the government and how much we hate them and how much
Mm,
this person pisses me off, and then throughout the day we have 50 different things that happens, and we're leaking our energy into all these things we're observing and hearing and tasting and smelling and feeling and thinking about. Pretty soon our energy is gone and it's weakened,
yes.
and we no longer have the fullness of our energy or the alignment to then
Mm,
create the most beautiful life possible. So we wake up in the morning, if we've got a little list of things that we want to focus on for that day, and we keep realigning our attention and our focus and our energy to that thing that we're trying to remember, it's more likely to happen rather than observing everything and getting caught up into people's drama or stories or, you know, all the BS that's going
mm.
on in the world, you know. And
Yeah,
we
so true.
we are our energy caretakers. It's up to us to preserve, conserve, and protect our energy. And if we don't,
Mm.
then somebody else will grab it and use it for their purposes.
Yeah, that is so true, and that is so powerful too. Oh, the last question. What is the takeaway for our viewers?
I would boil it down to you are unique and you're special and you're perfect in every way. You're
Mm,
never alone because at the core of what we truly are, I believe that we're all one as an energy
mm,
that has been sort of separated out into trillions of little pieces and downloaded into limitless life experiences
mm,
so that the one can experience itself in limitless ways. And I think that when we are born, this divine eternal energy comes into these bodies, and we get to have a very unique and seemingly separate experience. But throughout the lifespan that we are existing within as this human form, we're offered opportunities all along the way to remember what we truly are as we continue to up level and expand the who we identify as while we are in these bodies. And through listening to near death experiences, I've noticed there's a common theme that people will leave their bodies as an energy and
mm,
reconvene or reconnect and realign and become again the one energy that we all are. And currently, that's my beautiful truth and the way that I love to
mm.
see things. And it helps me see you and other individuals and myself in more beautiful ways and more connected and part of true, eternal, divine love that I
Mm.
believe that we all are.
Yeah, it's like we are the creator on this life stage, And what do you want to create?
Yeah, yeah. Make a list. After this podcast, I will sit down and write down a list of what
Yes.
exactly you want to experience before you leave this body, and
Yeah, I'm going to make a list.
see what happens. See what happens.
Yes,
What
I'm
have you
going
got
to
to
make a
lose?
list. Like yeah,
Yeah,
like what you mentioned before our recording. You mentioned that you make a list, and then is that 3 years later that
yeah,
your wife found that list that you make?
yeah. I was working at Boeing. We were moving into our new house. The bills were paid, and I was blown away.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, I will start making that list and then see what happens.
And when we know what we do want, and stop focusing on the what we don't want
Yeah,
list, and just put all of our energy, time, attention, and focus in what we do want, it's
yeah,
more likely to manifest.
that's right. And thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. And before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to add or any message you want to leave our audience with?
Yeah, I created the website at goodinthehead.com, especially for people who are feeling hopeless or depressed or confused, who want things to change, but they don't know where to get started. There's lots of tools that I've learned through so many incredible teachers. Uh, One of the most beautiful teachers that I've enjoyed listening to is Ram Dass through the
Yeah,
Be Here Now network.
yes, he's great.
Yeah, and
Mm,
started episode one, and see if it's for you. I think there's over 250 episodes now, and some of those you can
mm,
listen to over and over. And through repetition and through practice, and then more repetition of what we do want to expand into, it's more likely to happen and manifest. So we can be living a better life, and it's up to us to create that.
yes, that's amazing. And that's a great message. We appreciate your time and expertise. Where can our audience find you?
At goodinthehead.com, that's the website. At Good in the Head on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Mm,
And I think in the introduction, you were talking about the YouTube, the Good in the Head podcast
yeah,
2482, was it?
yeah,
Uh, that is a place where I've had some really amazing conversations with a lot of people. And one of them, the last one that I recorded, was podcast number 30 with Juan Carlos, who we
yeah, amazing.
both know.
Yes, he's amazing.
I highly recommend people check him out,
Mm,
and learn from him. He's a beautiful man, hypnotherapist. He enables people to sort of reprogram their inner story and their subconscious mind in a way that will empower them to create a much more beautiful life.
yeah.
Why
That's
not be
why it's
happier?
like yeah, one because we connected in a retreat, and when he shared with me about his hypnotherapies, what he does, and he asked me if I would like to try, and I said okay, and he said just relax, and he just do his work. And I think his hypnotherapies is really very powerful. And also he is someone that is very intuitive.
Mhm. Yeah,
And I'm so glad that we connected, and we share so much experience. He shared his experience with me, and me too, I share my experience with him. And yeah, it's really amazing how we come together out of nowhere. It's like
mm,
we never knew each other, and in the retreat I felt like the connection we had is like a family members, that kind of connection.
mhm.
And it's really amazing that yeah, from that retreat we become friends until now.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
Yeah, yes, and it's like and like now you connected to him. Who knows? Maybe one day you will get to meet him in person.
I'd like that. Yeah.
He is really amazing. He is really amazing.
Well, the work that you're doing now is a reflection of the work that you've been doing now for years, and I've noticed an expansion in your consciousness and everything that you're doing. I think you have an opportunity to continue to create more and more beauty,
Yeah.
and opportunities for people to think differently and learn new things. And I just think that what you're doing is a great thing to be doing. And obviously it lights you up, it lights me up, and I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because when we meet or we came to know each other in Facebook, I love what you're doing. I follow your blog on a daily basis, and I love your consistency.
Yeah,
Because it's
that's
like you do it every day without fail, and of course, yeah, someone out there will come across your message, and whoever that comes across your message, yeah, is that timing that person needs the message.
yeah,
And
I
that
know
is
I need
why,
those
yeah,
messages.
yes, that is why it's like, and yeah, it's so unforgettable that you created that 30-day challenge that time in 2020, beginning of 2021. And that was really an unforgettable experience for me. And you asked me to join that 30-day challenge, so I remember that 30-day challenge I created content, different content every day. And yeah, I never expect that I will be so consistent
Yeah,
for that 30 days.
it's exciting to realize that you are capable of that, if
Yeah.
you really try hard and practice it, and
Mm,
anything is capable of anything. We
that's so
really really can be, do, or have anything we want. That's the takeaway.
Yeah, that is really so true. I mean, it's like I myself experienced that 30-day challenge, and up till now, up till today, yeah, it's an unforgettable experience for me. Sort of like that one is sort of like the beginning of my transformation.
Nice. That's great to hear. And anybody that wants to go check out the Good in the Head challenge from 2021, it's still up on the website, and it may have been created then, but can be used at any time.
Yeah, that is so powerful. I mean, all these kind of challenges is really powerful. To let us focus on one task at a time.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm, yeah, and fantastic. We'll be sure to include those links in the YouTube description box. And thank you once again for being with us today. It's been a pleasure. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this interview, please subscribe and leave us a review or share it with others who might find it interesting. And until next time, goodbye.